The United States and Switzerland have struck a landmark trade agreement, announced on November 14, 2025. U.S. tariffs on Swiss exports will drop from 39% to 15%, making Swiss goods more competitive in America. In return, Swiss companies will invest $200 billion in the U.S., expanding manufacturing and creating jobs. The deal follows months of tough negotiations and has sparked debate in Switzerland. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer says it will boost jobs in pharmaceuticals, gold, and railways. For Switzerland, it's relief for export industries battered by high tariffs. Supporters call it vital for jobs and economic stability. Critics argue 15% is still high, but it's a crucial improvement. The agreement promises growth and a stronger industrial base for both nations. Whether it delivers remains to be seen. Swiss Economy Minister Guy Parmelin has become the face of the new trade agreement, defending it against fierce domestic criticism. Parmelin insists, "We haven't sold our soul to the devil," countering claims that Switzerland conceded too much. He frames the deal as a crucial first step, not a final destination, and acknowledges it's not perfect. Parmelin views the agreement as a foundation for future negotiations, emphasizing ongoing dialogue with the U.S. He's candid about the economic pressures facing Switzerland's export-driven economy, arguing that inaction would have led to more job losses. The minister calls the deal a necessary compromise to protect national interests and prevent a deeper crisis. Parmelin's message is calculated. This was a strategic maneuver, not a surrender. He aims to reassure a skeptical public and divided parliament, highlighting the immediate benefits of lower tariffs. By calling it the best we could achieve, Parmelin acknowledges Switzerland's tough negotiating position. He reminds critics of the powerful economic forces at play. The government believes this deal was the price for access to a critical market. Parmelin is betting that the benefits will outweigh the risks. The agreement, he argues, is a pragmatic response to a challenging global environment. The debate over its merits is far from over. The trade deal has sparked fierce opposition across Switzerland's political spectrum. The Green Party brands it a surrender agreement, accusing the government of bowing to U.S. pressure. Opponents warn Swiss farmers and consumers will pay the price, fearing a flood of cheaper U.S. goods. The agricultural sector is especially worried about competition from American agribusiness. Critics say the negotiation lacked transparency and favors big business over Swiss interests. The surrender label taps into Swiss pride in independence and neutrality. Public opinion is deeply divided, and the outcome remains uncertain. Switzerland's decision to pursue the trade deal was driven by mounting economic troubles. In Q3 2025, the Swiss economy shrank by 0.5%, a warning sign for policymakers. The downturn hit the chemical and pharmaceutical sectors hardest, threatening jobs and growth. Swissmem, a leading industry group, reported U.S. exports plummeting by up to 40% in just 3 months. The 39% U.S. tariff made Swiss goods uncompetitive, putting factories and jobs at risk. The government faced intense pressure from business to act. The new 15% tariff, while still high, is seen as a lifeline for manufacturers. It levels the playing field with European and Japanese competitors, offering hope for recovery. The deal aims to halt the economic slide, but challenges remain. UBS forecasts only 1% GDP growth for 2026, well below the long-term average. Even with lower tariffs, export growth will likely stay sluggish. The agreement may prevent a deeper crisis, but it's no quick fix. The road to recovery will be long and uncertain. The deal is a stopgap, not a cure-all. Switzerland's economic future still hangs in the balance. The trade deal wasn't just hammered out in conference rooms, it was shaped by high-level business diplomacy. In early November 2025, Swiss CEOs from companies like Rolex and Richemont traveled to the U.S. to lobby for a favorable outcome. They brought lavish gifts for President Trump, including a custom gold Rolex and an engraved gold bar. Critics in Switzerland saw this as an attempt to buy influence, but it reflected a pragmatic approach to U.S. politics. Minister Parmelin credits these CEOs' personal connections, often forged on the golf course, with opening crucial back channels. These relationships allowed Swiss interests to be communicated directly, bypassing official red tape. The blend of business acumen and personal rapport proved decisive. This episode highlights how major deals are often shaped by informal networks, not just formal negotiations. For some, it's a sign of a flawed process. For others, it's simply how global power works. Regardless, the lobbying efforts of Switzerland's top CEOs were key to the deal's success. The intersection of business, politics, and personal ties played a pivotal role. The controversy over gifts and influence remains a hot topic at home, but without these efforts, the deal might never have happened. The new trade agreement creates clear winners and losers in Switzerland's economy. Manufacturers in machine building, electrical engineering, and metals are the biggest beneficiaries, finally able to compete in the U.S. market. The tariff cut is expected to boost exports, stabilize production, and protect jobs in these sectors. But not everyone gains. Swiss farmers fear a wave of U.S. agricultural imports, including products banned in Switzerland. This could threaten local standards and put small farmers at risk. The $200 billion investment pledge also means some Swiss companies will move manufacturing to the U.S. While this benefits the American economy, it could hollow out Switzerland's industrial base over time. Sectors like pharmaceuticals, gold smelting, and railway equipment may shift jobs abroad. The deal, meant to save jobs, could cost others in the long run. The government faces the challenge of managing these divergent impacts. The agreement is a trade-off. Helping one part of the economy may hurt another. The long-term effect on Swiss jobs and investment is uncertain. Policymakers must support sectors and workers left behind. The new economic landscape is complex and fraught with risk. The true cost and benefit of the deal will only emerge over time. The Swiss pharmaceutical industry occupies a unique position in the new trade agreement. Pharmaceuticals make up half of Swiss exports to the U.S., but were never subject to the harsh 39% tariffs. The sector was largely exempt, so the tariff cut has little direct impact on its trade. Still, Swiss pharma giants played a key role in negotiations, facing political pressure to move manufacturing to the U.S. As part of the $200 billion investment pledge, some companies plan to relocate production, fulfilling U.S. demands. This shift could cost Switzerland high-value jobs and industrial capacity. The move is seen as corporate statesmanship, sacrificing some domestic investment to secure a deal that benefits other industries. However, it's a bitter pill for the Swiss economy, exporting not just medicines, but also jobs. The pharmaceutical sector's separate piece comes at a cost. The decision reflects the complex trade-offs in global negotiations. The long-term impact on Swiss prosperity remains uncertain. The industry's actions may help the broader economy, but not without consequences at home. The trade deal is just a framework. Many crucial details remain unresolved. Further negotiations will determine the real impact, from customs rules to regulatory standards. One major sticking point: agricultural imports. The agreement is silent on whether Switzerland must accept controversial U.S. products like chlorinated chicken and hormone-treated beef. Swiss farmers and the public strongly oppose these imports, making this a red line in talks. The outcome could decide the deal's fate. Even if finalized, the agreement faces tough hurdles in Switzerland's parliament. Vocal opposition from several parties means approval is far from certain. Under Swiss direct democracy, a public referendum could be triggered if enough signatures are gathered. Public opinion is split, and a referendum campaign would be fiercely contested. Supporters must convince voters of the deal's benefits against a powerful coalition of opponents. The agreement's future is highly uncertain. It must survive detailed negotiations in domestic politics before becoming law. The process ahead is fraught with risk and division. The fate of this historic deal hangs in the balance. If ratified, this trade agreement could fundamentally reshape U.S.-Swiss relations. It marks a shift toward deeper economic integration and strategic partnership. For Switzerland, it's a pivot toward its most important non-EU trading partner, even at the cost of tough compromises. The deal could serve as a model for future agreements, showing both sides' willingness to negotiate pragmatically. If successful, it may open the door to further cooperation and reduce trade barriers. But the controversy in Switzerland could leave lasting scars, fueling anti-American sentiment if the deal's costs outweigh its benefits. The future of the partnership depends on whether the agreement is seen as fair and mutually beneficial. For Switzerland, it's a high-stakes gamble, betting on U.S. ties for economic security. The deal forces the country to confront its place in a world dominated by global powers. Whether it revitalizes the Swiss economy or undermines its sovereignty will shape relations for years. The world is watching as this new chapter unfolds. The stakes could not be higher.